morning to you all. The topic today is owning our beliefs. It's our third morning and I believe, a good day to introduce myself. I'm Dipika Belapurkar, a therapist that again believes that I must do whatever it takes to take the unique individuality of my client into very worthwhile consideration in our healing sessions together. This belief works extraordinarily well. So our beliefs are precious to us because we have resided alongside them for longer than perhaps our chronological age. And it's said that we are born with a set of beliefs from earlier lifetimes, and these match the vibrations of the environment we are born into. Well then, what hope do we have if our inborn beliefs attract towards us disagreeable situations? And so then, additionally, are our circumstances to be blamed for the continuation of our beliefs about which we can do nothing? This morning we are going to find out about owning our beliefs, learning to discard those that don't work for us anymore. So what are beliefs anyway? Beliefs are defined as an acceptance of something that we deem to be true for us but for which we have no proof. So are beliefs in the realm of our imagination? Most probably. And if we believe in something over a longish period of time, then this belief can stop feeling like part of our imagination and more to do with a realistic observation of life. That's how personal beliefs are formed. So whatever it may be, ultimately our beliefs are personal, whether borrowed, whether original, and we must own them if we wish to take responsibility for the way our life unfolds. Whatever happens if we don't do that, we become embroiled in blaming others and outer circumstances for our misfortunes, and we stay victimized until the time we observe and change these beliefs that are engendering for us a less than meaningful existence. Many communities thrive on the herd mentality that binds people into a common pool via shared beliefs, shared aspirations, ideologies, hopes, desires, etc. Nothing wrong with that, just that there is no absolutely correct way to choose a life of our choice. But a fallout of that can be a sacrifice of individuality and freedom to be on a path or a journey which is uncommon to others. So, if it isn't enough that we soak up the belief systems of our caregivers when we are children, as adults we pursue a life too that isn't quite our own. And there's a high likelihood here that we may abdicate responsibility for fulfilling our own needs, such as for happiness, for love, for independence, for even a vocation, for a choice of a career. If you feel your life is mirroring a labyrinth and you can no longer find your way, it's time to see whose side you are on yours or everyone else's, whose expectations you're scurrying to meet. Where did all this begin? You need to comply and be regulated by the beliefs of others. How will you learn self-regulation if all your senses are wrapped up in the pursuit of conformity? So these are questions you can dwell on in your spare time. For now, I want you to answer to yourself if the beliefs that you hang on to about your life and what happens in your life are your own. And if some of these are not yours, but they belong to someone else, even someone you dearly love, are you willing and are you ready to reformulate them or to release them totally? If yes, that's wonderful. Now we are actually talking. What are we talking about? About breaking habits that evolved from long-standing beliefs. I'm sure most of you have been down this path, trying to break negative habits and establishing positive and healthier ones. And many of you have stumbled, cursed your life, and cursed yourself as doomed, and also given up the possibility of imminent change. My question again is, have you given up after seriously, patiently, and diligently keeping a journal to track your habits? We have to be prepared to make changes in our inputs or our beliefs if we want a different life than the one we have now. Our present circumstances are arisen from a past and they lead to a future. So the common factor between the past, the present and the future is the way we believe into existence, our day by day life. Therefore my suggestion, track your belief systems. Ryder Carroll, the author of the bullet journal method, teaches us the art of decluttering the mind, quite in the way of the Marie Kondo method to tidy our home. So Carroll stresses on the feeling aspect of journaling and moving us towards the things that matter to us most. To understand in detail his method, do read his book. I have personally been a journal junkie for most of my life, writing down all my chaotic thoughts, inspirational thoughts and everything in between. A bullet journal nicknamed a Bujo is quite specific in its demands of us. It tracks and reins in our scattered thoughts by showing us how to organize, reflect and meditate. What is mindfulness after all? Just this, isn't it? Being able to, in a very conscious manner, record the impressions of our five senses, making us more productive and fully functioning. There is no set formula to how individual minds work for gathering and labeling and filing away information. So it seems to me the way we record and sort information depends upon what beliefs we have. Getting back to a need to track our habits because they will lead us to the beliefs we need to hold on to and those we need to let go. When we track our beliefs, we are tracking our behaviors too. The case for changing any behavior of ours we don't like is linked quite often to using our willpower to modify it. However, many times we find ourselves up against a wall trying to change a habit, ingrained as it were, by pitting it against our willpower. And our willpower at the best of times is insufficient to the task. This is where Bujo comes in as a handyman, gifting us the art and science of changing our thought patterns on paper. So journaling is about the big picture, for indeed, discovering a new set of beliefs more in line with our life purpose is no small feat. For instance, you may write down a practical doable goal, such as learning to be kind. While you track your activities and tasks related to showing kindness to others, it's not just enough for changing our behavior. We don't just want to make a list of the days when we are kind or unkind. We want to link our days to when we displayed negative behaviors, because that will tell us what we need to change about us. Simply having a task to do, which is say to be kind, which we deem as any task to do, which we deem as negative, something we don't like, it may not elicit negative behavior from us. To track what changes we want in our behavior, we have to track our behavior itself. And to do that, we need bigger goals than merely tracking the actions. We need to know what are we striving to become. From all this change, all this writing, what are we striving to become? Now, from an earlier example of becoming kind, instead of just tracking the days of kindness, we are tracking what it means for us to be kind and compassionate. Where does being kind take us to in life? How does it add into the person we are aiming to be? So when the goal includes the woods, when we focus on the right trees to plant and nurture. Say you have a negative habit, getting irritated at every fly that plants itself on your wall, which you track through the week and tally it 27 times. Will that change your behavior just because you know that 27 times you exhibited this? Perhaps not. But while you track this habit, you discover the times you aren't reaching your goal to be kind. Because you're being angry and you don't spend time being kind. So you might unearth a belief system that comes in your way of reaching this particular goal. Something like insects are beneath human kindness. I'm just giving you an example. And in this case, the big picture is then discovering a part of yourself that you were unaware of, about the way you look at insects, and a likelihood of adapting to a newer lifestyle more suited to your current needs, which is to learn to be kind. So we have goals and we put these into our tracking journal. Your goals are linked to your beliefs about what life can get for you. So if you set goals that you have no hope of achieving, you might instead then track what beliefs are coming in your way. And through the day or week, or track whatever the negative behavior is that sabotages your success at achieving this goal. So artists and writers swear by one habit of daily repetition of a task like sketching or writing, even if it is only for 10 minutes. Like a prayer one doesn't forget before sleeping. Journaling is the same. It's your daily cup of mindfulness. Make sure that this doesn't morph into mindlessness at some point when the tracking proves to be a task done without forethought and more as something you must do rather than want to do. And if the joy has gone out of it, re-establish this relationship with your journal. It's never meant to become a burden. Just because someone else's Instagram pages urge you to track your calories doesn't mean you need to, especially when you're already underweight. For those of you that consider yourselves to be a non-stop self-improvement project, be aware of the pitfalls of turning tracking into a platform for self-flagellation. Nothing spells failure more than having a critical inner voice chiseling away at your self-esteem. Another way we can end facing probable failure at attaining goals is if we adhere to and track goals and beliefs set by others for us. It's only right to evaluate what it is you are tracking and do the work of modulating your behavior alongside a therapist so as to minimize the chances of failure. I know some of my clients have become more productive via this process. They have overcome procrastination via regular journaling habit. Instead of being clueless about why you have more pre-scheduled work left at the end of the week, when you discover the reasons for it and find ways to be more organized and goal-oriented, you can then say tracking is purposeful. Another example, if you find in the week gone by you had 4 days of wasteful activity, instead of belittling yourself and resorting to unhealthy behaviors like emotional eating, you track in your journal the reasons for the inactivity. Too much of Netflix, too many hours spent reuniting with friends you had lost touch with during COVID, unplanned trips to your favorite stores, too much social media involvement. It's easier to track habits that need to change when your journal is a self-reflective tool. Beliefs are notoriously clingy. There are many of you listening in that probably don't require the aid of a journal to figure which beliefs are not really yours. You can do it all up here. For others, writing is an effective and wise tool. Though I would suggest to everyone to try it and watch your thoughts change as you own what is yours and relinquish what is borrowed. What a wonderful way indeed to come home to yourself. Thank you for committing yourself to unraveling your true needs and beliefs so you can live a more purposeful life that you're meant to have. Have a great day ahead. Catch you tomorrow. Goodbye.
Help Talks are daily health-related talks held at Health Education Library for People, Mumbai, India. For more information visit www.healthlibrary.com. Subscribe to Help Talks channel. Be better informed about your health.